What is good, y'all? It is your boy, Mr. G, here, host with today's episode of Strawhat Sitdown, episode 134.
Hey, let's get it.
And I know it's a few days late. We had some emergencies to take care of, but this is a Halloween episode. I'm the only one that came prepared. Everyone's under the weather, but it's understandable. It'd be like that.
Yeah,
You
my
know?
bad, viewers.
Yeah.
It's cool. I'll hold it down with my Doflamingo fit, thanks to D3 for the glasses.
Yeah, they finally came in, man.
Yeah, they came in. I had to get it ready today, and so shout out to you, my boy.
We saw the what you gave him, the chopper.
Yes.
Yeah, the pin and the drawing. It was dope, man.
It was. And then he gave me a few beautiful One Piece cards.
Hey,
So
man.
as y'all
That's what we
know,
love to see.
your boy collects. This is actually a quick snippet of our new layout that we have. Hopefully going forward. So let us know what you guys think. Callie Mack is not here with us today. He has an emergency, but we are here to hold it down. Me holding it as the captain, along with two first mates, Y
So
Huss and Straw Hat Mod. What's good, boys? How you guys doing today?
chilling, man. I'm excited, man. Like I said, a little under the weather, but we gotta be here, man. Fan that episode. I'm super excited to talk about that. It's like such a good banger, feel good thing.
Yeah,
We have the SBS and the questions too, the remaster. Even though it's a break week, it's a good time to be a One Piece fan, man.
it really is.
Yeah. I say, like you guys suggested for me to check it out, and man, that fan letter episode did not disappoint. So
Hey.
I definitely am ready to talk about that.
Right. So before we get to it, let's go over these special Oda questions that came out during the week.
Yes, sir.
As you guys see on the screen, I have F11 full screen. Yeah. All right. I have the full by Pew on Twitter. Pew Peace.
Yes, sir.
They have the complete translation of Oda's special questions, along with important side notes. I didn't actually see these side notes, so this is gonna be fun. Actually, I gotta take off these glasses. I cannot see shit. All right. So, 10 mysteries that will bring about the ebb and flow of the ages. So there was 10 questions asked by Oda, by just random people, right?
I guess he probably just picked ones he gets over the years, maybe some SBS ones that he's like, these are the ones I want to put out for this thing.
Okay, and this is a pretty big moment for the One Piece community for Oda to pick out questions. It's been a while, right?
Yeah.
And then especially showing off this panel of it all depends on who finds the One Piece. The ending of Vegapunk's what's the speech, right?
His message.
And then we see all the players that are making moves for the One Piece right now.
Yeah, I definitely view this as like a pivotal thing, so I'm glad to see it appear here.
Yeah.
On Saga time, man.
So, man, this is a lot.
Yeah, let's take in.
So the first question is what's it called? When is Luffy? Are we gonna do all 10 questions? I don't think so.
Nah, you can pick which ones. I think the Luffy one is kind of interesting, but
yeah,
it's really the Luffy.
Yeah, the ones that are the most interesting ones, or the ones that are most pressing.
Okay, so the first one was when Luffy's using Gear 5, he pulls out things like goggles and a baseball helmet from what looks like a Hagoromo cloud scarf. Please explain how it works. And then Oda replied with, "It's the entrance to Nika's fantasy," which
absolutely does not explain how it works.
Does not explain anything.
But I think it's kind of interesting, that Oda is playing up the, he just does what he wants thing. Kind of makes you think if he'll ever explain it in the, why this is Nika's ability. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, this little side note over here, which I thought was interesting, is with the freedom to think, Luffy gains new weapons, and his unique technique is truly a symbol of freedom. Which is pretty cool.
Yeah, more motif stuff. The narrative of being free and all that stuff. It's cool. I'm not gonna lie. The only other ones he kind of answers like the dragon one about the dragon ever live with Luffy, and he's like, no, not that Luffy remembers. So
Yeah. Which I
I
thought
would
was
say
interesting.
the one I think is really interesting is the ninth question.
Let's get to it.
Okay.
Because that dragon one was a pretty good one. I will
Yeah, and
say.
that one is that one I would say is good, but the ninth one I think is anything here? Nah, not really.
Nine. Okay, here we go. Oh yes. Uh, please tell us about the Rocky Port incident that became the cause of Kobe being hailed as a hero. Um, Damn, there's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot. I think so I could summarize. Don't worry. I
All right,
think
go ahead.
so. I think like for some reason like Law was on a passenger ship that was called the Rocky Port. So now we know Rocky Port isn't a place on Pirate Island.
Mm-hmm.
And he was going to Pirate Island because he thought there was a poneglyph there, which is very interesting. You know, like to know that could be the case. I don't know if they confirmed it.
Okay.
Kobe and Blackbeard also landed on the island with their own agendas that we don't really know about. I'm assuming Blackbeard was what we see now, is that like he wanted to take over
Yeah.
the island. But I find it very interesting that Kobe was there. We don't really get to know why. But yeah, and as it ends up, I think Kobe and Blackbeard team up, and I guess they defeat Ochoku, who used to rule Pirate Island, who was once a member of the Rocks Pirates. That's what Blackbeard references when he meets Kobe in Amazon Lily, when he's about to kill Boa Hancock. So we get to learn a little bit more, but truly he doesn't really go into much. We hear that Kobe and Blackbeard teamed up. We hear that Law was there for a poneglyph. He ends up taking the passenger ship hostage. I don't know what a passenger ship was doing in the New World, like near Pirate Island. But yeah, so and Kobe ends up saving the hostages that Law took, and it kind of explains that the Rocky Port was like really coincidental, and none of their plans really meshed initially, but they ended up either clashing and in Blackbeard and Kobe's case, even teaming up, which is kind of reminiscent of obviously the God Valley incident of Garp and Roger teaming up to defeat Rocks or whatever. So in the end, the Rocky Port incident is explained kind of, but it's really not as, or I want to say, important or as monumental as I think Oda was hyping it up to be. I feel like. What do you guys think? I feel like it was a hyped up thing, and now it didn't really mean as much as it could have. I think.
Well, I mean,
That's
it just explains like what they did during the time, like how Kobe became known as the hero, and then how Law became the warlord, and then and then Teach Blackbeard. We find out that he takes over Pirate Island after that. So
yeah, we finally learned that they actually like. It's not just that Kobe was like some way helpful. They technically teamed up, is the word they used.
Yeah, and then that connection is what saved Boa and them later on at Amazon and Lily with Blackbeard. You know what I mean? So
yeah, a little bit of Rocky Port. I thought it was gonna be. I really thought Rocky Port was gonna be like. I thought he was gonna like. I thought it was gonna be much more expansive because he brings it up a lot. He brings it up like we said when when Blackbeard is about to kill Boa. He brings it up when we learn that's how Law became a Shichibukai. But yeah, I was hyping it up this whole time we've been doing the podcast actually. So I felt a little bit disappointed, but like you said, we got a lot of info in the end. So that's probably the biggest question. Other than that, it's really not much. It's fluff.
Yeah,
the rest of these questions, I think.
Yeah, I think Oda, if he's going to flesh it out some more, he'll do it in the manga, and so he probably just gave a very surface level, basic, like, take on it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure the exciting part of it will be in the extra contextualized, minute details that Oda likes to throw in there in flashbacks in the manga, so that, which I think we will get a Rocky Port incident flashback. I think so. I mean, I can't necessarily think of a reason why, honestly.
The scary part is in this thing. He says like the first words are like, "I feel like it would take too long to draw, so I don't think it'll be included in the main story." So
he said that.
Yeah, that's like yeah. So like, weirdly though, he leaves out Kobe and Blackbeard's reasoning for getting on the island, and I think Kobe's especially is very interesting. Like, why in the world would Kobe have been there? So I feel like there's probably still it's going to come up a little more, but yeah, I think he kind of maybe wrote it out of the story because you guys remember before the final saga, he basically said, "I'm going to take a month to kind of restructure how I want to finish the rest of it." Right, and I think Rocky Port might be one of those things that kind of like he's like, I don't know if I have all the time in the world to fit this in, so I might reduce its importance a little bit. Because like you said, Mod, I was sure we would get a flashback and it would be a big thing about Kobe and Law and Blackbeard. But yeah, I just think he really wants to get to the end.
Well, maybe it wasn't as maybe it wasn't as significant because when you think about it, when these three characters are interacting with each other, they do mention the Rocky Boy incident in passing, but you don't get nothing else from that other than them mentioning that. I mean, you do get like, Blackbeard negotiating with for Boa's thing, but that was more because of Rayleigh, not because Kobe's like defending her. I think it was more like Rayleigh.
Yeah, he also does. It also ends up working in the sense of like the Marines he was going to take hostage, right? Like he gave himself up for the, and then Sword went to go save them, which ended up getting Garp. What's the word, abducted? So I think the way he kind of made Blackbeard and Law have an interaction, and then Kobe, Blackbeard, Garp, and all that stuff. I think he did what he wanted to do with the Rocky Port and their character. I think it culminated in Garp being, what's the word, taking hostage, and now he has Law's poneglyphs. So I think in the end, he did what he wanted to do. But the Rocky Port incident kind of got phased out a little bit, which is fair. Like we're getting to the end. I understand you don't have so much time.
Right. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm not too mad. I'm not mad at all, honestly. I mean, I think, he gave us an explanation to it somewhat. And I mean, I felt like most of this was like, I mean, it was stated in the manga itself with Blackbeard was like, you helped me out against what's his face. But we thought when he said that, I think initially we thought in a different type of way other than like a raw, straight up team up.
Yeah,
it's
crazy to get that confirmed.
Yeah, but I mean, it was pretty, quite literally, you helped me. Like, so, I'm sure, yeah, like you said, Oda will touch on the motivations as to why later, like what was the point. But yeah, as far as actual flashback dedicated to solely the Rocky Port incident, I can see why Oda would cut that because I mean, if you think about it, it doesn't. If that's really just it, then it don't hold any relevance to the story like that, like in a huge way.
Yeah, it's more so like it set up what happened like that we've already seen, like the Law fight and the Kobe and Garp stuff.
Right.
Yeah. Any interest here, Mister, about 7 and 8, or?
Yes, actually, I was gonna say. Well, before we get off, the one thing I will say that the Rocky Point incident did show us is that Kobe's not afraid to get his hands dirty and make shady deals with pirates and stuff like that. So
that was interesting.
Definitely something to take note.
Yeah.
I thought question 8 was interesting. What kind of system is the world military draft that added Fujitora and Ryukugu to the forces of the Marines? Oda replied with the world government affiliated countries have their own soldiers that protect them to strengthen the military power of the Marines. The world military draft was organized to draft the most capable soldiers from within their ranks. This draft became one of the triggers for the recently occurred 8-Nation Revolution, as the weakening of their national defense forces may have contributed to the success of these revolutions.
Wow, that's big.
Yeah, that's huge.
That's actually crazy. That the world government is kind of suffering from their own decisions of enforcing a draft from these nations. Wow, and those part of these nations are we get to see the Lucia that obviously gets destroyed. I think the ship that the ship that Bonnie was on might have been one of them too, the Tangent Kingdom. Yeah, so wow, that's actually this was really a big one.
Yeah, and then I know we find out in the SBS they did give information on Ryukugu, Green Bull, Ryukugu, Kugi, and Fujitora.
Yeah.
So apparently Green Bull had was part of the cop force of his nation, and he got into an incident with a woman, and he got arrested. the government found out his powers, and then they broke him out, and then they promoted him to admiral. Uh, Supposedly, I
Mhm.
think that's very loosely of what they said.
No, you got it.
And then Fujitora um, was a war criminal.
Something about a war criminal. Yeah, I heard
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah, he's a war criminal from a country that no longer exists, and he was the bodyguard for some underground like uh black market people, and
Mm.
then he got found out by the cops, by the government, and then they took him in, and then to pay off his debt. That's what it was too, because he owed a lot of gambling debt. So
Oh, that makes sense to why we see him in a gambling parlor in Just Rose. That's
yeah,
the first time we ever meet him.
yeah,
Wow, yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy. That's actually nuts, and I'm kind of shocked that yeah, Greenwood was Fujitora was a demon. Damn.
yeah. So
Yeah.
part of me in my head canon, I was like, because we know Fujitora saw some crazy stuff. So what if this country was torn and like he had to kill people or whatever, and then that's when he took his eyes out, or like they were fighting for his devil fruit type of shit. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
and then like he took his eyes, and or he got the devil fruit, accidentally set off the meteor, and it killed everybody in his country, and then he just took out his eyes because he
That
just
would be so sad.
I know,
As a punishment.
yeah, as a punishment, and then
Yeah,
but
yeah. I think also the like the underground dealing things was like probably part of the evil that he was talking about that he used to see.
yeah, yeah, that's true.
I think that probably is also part of it. So yeah, I think he definitely like it's cool to have it's cool to get background for these two. I wonder like if that's it, and I wonder if he chose to tell us that in the SBS. Because I feel like with the question 9, the Rocky Port getting like getting these two admirals in SBS's their backstories, even Kid's backstory was in an SBS.
Mm,
I feel like, and I think the final saga pacing is definitely like you fall off the boat, you're getting left behind. Like we're moving.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting to know more about those two admirals.
But and then they were asking about Garland and stuff, like how strong he
Yeah,
is.
and he's obviously strong. That was a waste of a question. We know
Yeah,
Garlic's fucking strong. He's
yeah,
he's talking to the Gorosei, like a certain way.
Yeah.
I
And
think,
we already confirmed that the Gorosei are strong and
yeah,
he's replacing a Gorosei member. So yeah, he's
facts.
I think the Shanks question about how he learned Divine Departure was cool. How he didn't get taught
That's
it. He learned it like from seeing and watching Roger. That's
yeah.
like the cool thing.
Thing like mimicking it and just remembering how Roger attacked.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty cool. Because I mean, Shanks is like like that generation's Roger,
yeah,
and
absolutely.
so
The hockey monster.
yep, yep, yep.
I think the last thing for the SBS that I would find very interesting is that Oda talks about who, who gave Luffy food in Egghead when he was KO'd in front of Saturn.
Well, that wasn't SBS.
Um,
That wasn't in this, right?
no, yeah,
No.
that wasn't the SBS. It was yeah, along with the Admiral stuff.
Okay.
Um, he so basically he's like someone asked him like, yo, how did Luffy gain food? Um, while he was knocked out, and he basically said, "You're right. There's some people that could have given it to him. Who knows? But however it happened, it had to have happened at the speed of light.
Yep.
Speed of light. That's basically he's doing that thing
My
where he doesn't
goodness.
answer, but he answers, right?
Yeah, he's like.
Um, yeah.
Oh
So
my gosh.
so yeah, it's confirmed that in Egghead it was Kizaru who gave Luffy food to get up, and I think that's actually genuinely perfect in my opinion. I think that outcome makes the most sense for who Kizaru is as a character. I know we talked about how he's not trying to rock the boat type character,
Mhm.
and how he knows it's wrong, but he's in too deep,
Yeah.
and he could find a way to resist without blowing his own cover and stuff like that. I'm glad he's a wishy-washy character, and I love it. I'm so happy about it.
And it showed. Throughout the whole arc.
Yep.
We kept asking like, you could see it in his face that he's bothered, and he stayed down a little longer than you would think that he would need to. Right at the end, like he was just like, oh, I'm done. I'm not getting up. I'm not gonna help him.
Hmm.
Fuck them. But in actuality, it's because he he was torn. That was his best friend. He did still. I wouldn't say kill. He was the one that killed
Yeah,
Vegapunk,
yeah,
right? He was the one that
he
triggered it.
definitely. And even then, like you said, like he had been stabbed by what's his name already.
Yeah,
But yeah, I'm not gonna say that he didn't mean to kill him or anything, but like he's so conflicted. He says it all the time. He talks all the time. He's like, yeah, let me lay down, let me rest. I love it. I actually think Kizaru's character writing in Egghead is so amazing and perfect. So this to me was what I was waiting for to
mm,
I was the one thing I need to know because like it's kind of like a not a plot hole, but like where the fuck did Luffy get that food? And also for Kizaru, it's like all that whining and waffling that everyone was complaining about. It had a purpose.
yeah,
He did have a gray black like gray not not black and white a gray moment where he's like, okay, I'm on the wrong side and I'll do a little bit of things to make sure I can try. So I
mm-hmm.
love that. I'm actually I think this is perfect.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I wonder if they're gonna like kind of like show it in the anime a little bit. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so we'll see. That was a nice little tidbit to for Oda to give to
Yeah,
us.
I'm very happy about that.
Okay. I think that's pretty much it for the questions in the SBS, right?
Yeah, pretty packed week. We did get the viewer cards, but there's just too much to think about, and they're all very small. So maybe next week or some other week we'll talk about them.
Yeah. So
Mm.
let's get to the next thing,
Yes,
right?
sir.
So
103 mercies.
while we're on break, right? We were talking about Monster, the One Piece fan letter, and I just want to talk about how what an amazing time we live in that we have spin-offs from One Piece, and they're not just they don't deal with Luffy and the main crew or anything. They just and they're their own thing, and they are all bangers. Because
Yeah, absolutely.
Monsters 103 Mercy's Dragon Damnation was so good. I wish it
That
was
shit was
longer.
ridiculous.
I wish it was
Yeah.
longer.
Yeah, boy.
um, man.
I think what I really like about one thing I really like about Monsters is that like obviously everything about it is fire. They kill it. But
Yeah,
it's so cool to have there's so much that's cool about it, but one thing I think that's special about it is that like it's a part of Oda's work that like who knows however he ever wanted to link it into One Piece, who knows what his plans were when he made it, but it's a pre One Piece
yeah,
piece of art,
yeah.
and for that to come alive 30 years later basically like is it's kind of ethereal, it's almost unreal. So I just think that is I appreciate that about it a lot too. Like that's like a prototype almost of a lot of things from One Piece, right?
It is, and then like, cause at first it was just a one shot, right? And then I know when they did it on Netflix, like the anime came out, they tied it in, they made it canon, and which was really nice. And just so that our viewers know, this is the story of Ryuma, um, the same Ryuma that we see in Thriller Bark that fights
Yep.
against Zoro, that gives
Yep.
him his sword. So, it's about when he kills the dragon, and they did mention that once, and
Yeah. It's in Thriller Bark, I believe, when they first
yeah,
ever talk about Ryuma, like the sword god who
yeah,
killed the dragon or whatever. And he's in the land of Wano, and I think they even bring it up again in Wano. The guy that the fox thing that takes Shisui from Zoro
yeah.
is talks about how there was a dragon above the capital, in Wano 400 years ago or however long it was. Like it's nuts that like because you read the manga and then you read the one shot when you hear about it, like that's because I definitely read the one shot before this special got announced, and just out of curiosity of who Ryuma was, and this, like there's no real reason to think it's actually canon because like yeah the sword's not the same as Shisui in the
Hmm.
manga, but in the special it's just Shisui. That's so or Shisui. It's so sick, man.
It's so sick.
Yeah. Um, I wanted to say so. Like one, this it's amazing. Like
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed watching this. I wish it was a standalone series. Like I
Oh, I
genuinely wish
know.
it was a standalone series. Uh, kind of reminds me of like a reverse uh Trigun
Mm.
like in a way. because Ryuma, it like, because the setting of it reminds me of that, you know, because it's like, I know Trigun took place in like a kind of like a futuristic Wild Wild West or whatever, but like here there was also elements of like, you know, the Wild West, and it was kind of interesting to me because I'm like, he sticks out like a sore thumb to me.
Yeah.
in this world, that's what makes me think like you know, like, have you ever, you guys know about the Dr. Slump manga, right? Of course. Yeah, so you know, like Aurelie, she's technically canon in the Dragon Ball universe.
Yeah.
But the Dr. Slump, like the Dr. Slump manga itself, the only thing that from that manga that translates over to the Dragon Ball universe is like the Penguin Island or whatever is what's called Penguin Village or something like that. Where everything else, because in Dr. Slump, all the continents in the real world are in there and all that other stuff, but in the Dragon Ball universe, that's not really a thing. So Oda reshaped kind of like the narrative of Dr. Slump to fit into the Dragon Ball universe
Toriyama.
Toriyama,
you mean?
Oh yeah. Toriyama, he did that. To make it fit into the Dragon Ball universe, and I think and I feel like the same thing happened here. When it came to like monsters and stuff like that, it don't look like Wano like at all. I'm gonna be real,
definitely not.
Like it don't look like Wano whatsoever. It looks like, you know, like I said, it reminds me of like some type of reverse Trigun type thing. But obviously, when the special happens and we fast forward to, you know, when it ends and they take us to Thriller Bark and Ryuma pass the sword to Zoro or whatever, it's supposed to imply like, you know, that was a part, or like it's something in that vein of like, you know, adventure that he had or whatever.
Absolutely.
I don't know if it was exactly that, like 100%, but
especially with the idea that it's supposed to have happened in Wano. But yeah, like you said, like that might be the wrong thing, or maybe this retelling of it is not exactly how it goes. But that's kind of what it kind of is, right? With these kind of stories and these myths.
But
it's sick, and I think another cool thing that actually it's present even in the manga version, where the ending when he kills the dragon, the move he uses is the same that Zoro uses to defeat King when King pulls out the dragon flame thing. The 103 Mercies, and that's where the title comes from. Like dude, come on, man, that's so sick, bro.
Well, one thing that I really enjoyed about this, because at first going into it, I thought it was just his own thing. I didn't think it was gonna tie into One Piece, right? Like, but in the beginning, if you listen to it, it's Zoro that's narrating, and I remember, I was like, that sounds like Zoro. I was like, huh, that's weird. But then, like, it went away quickly because then it goes into the story, and it was quick. It was a quick little story about Ryuma, Shirano, the master swordsman, bumps into his scabbard, and then he wants to fight him and stuff. And then the same thing happens again when he goes outside with this random guy who blows the dragon horn and calls the dragon to the town, and like. I don't know. Just seeing Ryuma, like he was very Zoro-like and Luffy-like at the same time. You know, I enjoyed him a lot, and Flair was good, and then like the twist was pretty cool too. You know, the fact that
like, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Marvel. What you say?
I was gonna say you felt like he was Luffy-like. I felt like he was like more Sanji-like. Like
I see the Sanji. I also see the Luffy. He's a bit of a clown, like kind of like.
Yeah.
Well, Luffy and Zoro are also very similar at the same time.
But Sanji's also sometimes a clown too. Like in his own way. Like
they're all single cell or single brain organisms.
These stupid folks.
But he reminds he's like a fusion of like Zoro and Sanji to me, because he has like both Zoro and Sanji both fight on like a sense of, they both have a sense of honor.
Yeah.
Where, I mean, there's some honor in Luffy, but I feel like it's less than those two.
No, definitely.
where because he has the chivalry aspect of Sanji and the honor aspect of Zoro of repaying back and all that other stuff, and on top of that, the goofy aspect of like him being blamed for shit and him telling the townsfolk like it wasn't me, like obviously it wasn't me, like what the hell, like like I feel like the way he did that, it reminded me of like a Sanji type thing.
So
I mean Sanji Zoro, like kind of that.
the
At least in
moment,
my
the
opinion.
moment that made me think of him as a little Luffy was actually when he stops the girl from turning around, and then like he gets like serious and like I don't know, just that showing that empathy. Like he already realized that those guys are doing, and he's trying to stop her from having her heart broken. I thought that was very
Right,
Like
right.
Luffy
like
like.
that. The fucking
Yeah.
the guy in the treasure chest
Yeah,
before. Yeah.
you know,
Very similar.
yeah,
But
and
I think that's something Zoro could do too, because Zoro
yeah, very they
he
were like we said, very similar characters.
yeah.
That's why that's why they get along so well.
The goats, man. The absolute goats.
But and then only for the ending of it to see that Zoro is at the end, and we see the
Yeah, that
passing
was
of the
so
sword. That
cool.
was so cool, bro. Like the whole thing. Uh, I
And
just wish it was
Zoro,
longer. I just wish it was longer.
yeah. I think
Yeah.
just thinking about like that fight on Third Bark, like Zoro's like let's just pretend like this fight never happened. You know,
Yeah.
it's so fucking cool. Like he's such a cool guy, bro. I hate this guy, bro. He's way too cool. I love it, man. I love it. It was sick, man. And random, but those shadows don't really work the way they're supposed to, actually, right? Like I feel like the shadows that getting a little bit off topic, but Gecko Moria shadows don't make any fucking sense. Like that's Brook's shadow. Why is Ryuma's body, having his personality? Anyway, let's not think about that. But yeah, no, it's so good. The animation was crazy. I think like we're in like you said, Mister. Like the being a One Piece fan is a bit. We're almost eating too good. Like the Wit Studio remake is still cooking.
Yeah.
The remaster for the Fisherman Island started this weekend. Like
Which is
we're
true.
living good, man. So yeah, Monsters is a banger. We need more.
Yeah.
We need more.
I was gonna add, like, I could also see the inspirations of like some of Oda's like ideas
Yep.
Yeah.
off of this, just single handedly, just because I was getting hit with such a One Piece like hammer when the dude, the swordsman that he killed, I forgot his name, but
Shirano?
yeah,
Yeah.
Toronto, yeah. When like he was portraying himself as like this
Gentleman.
this gentleman, master swordsman, superhero
Yeah.
type guy, and I'm like, if this is Oda that we're talking about, this dude's a fuckboy. But
Exactly what he was.
yeah, because what really hit me with it though is how even though he availed his plot and all that other stuff, which is all reminiscent of One Piece and stuff of like underhanded good guy, supposed good guys or whatever.
Mhm.
And when he was doing all that, the only person that saw him who was actually able to see him for what he was the girl. And all the townsfolk, while all that was happening, all the townsfolk were outside, not witnessing it, and was saying, "Oh, I hope he's okay. I hope he's doing all right. He can save us from the dragon." Meanwhile, on the inside, while none of them are able to witness it,
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot of bullshit happening. Kind of reminds me of like stuff that happens in One Piece regularly, world government. Hell, it reminds me of Orange Town when Luffy hit the mayor or whatever,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it ran up, and they thought he was a bad guy, but the only person that knew he was good actually was the mayor.
Was the mayor, yep.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah, so you're actually spitting, man. It's so clear the inspirations and like things that he's used and done like later on, man. It's again that's what I mean. Where like it's almost like a piece of who he was before One Piece, and and what made it part of him do One Piece. You know what I mean? It's really really cool. It's sick.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And it was only the beginning because we got this, and then after that came out January of last year, this past what, like 2 weeks ago,
Yeah, it
we
was like
got
3 weeks ago. Yeah.
3 weeks ago, we got this amazing episode, the One Piece fan letter, um, and it was directed by Megumi Ishitani,
Bro,
who,
she's the
Love
goat, man.
her. Love her.
in fact,
She's
oh my god,
like she's the future.
yeah.
She's the future of all anime. Like just period.
Yeah, no, like well, part of why One Piece is as big as it is definitely her work.
So, Waz, you want to fill our audience in on what the fan letter is about?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I actually learned a lot more today because I was telling Mr. Pre episode that I watched a sick video on shout out to One Piece Explained on YouTube. They made a breakdown like very very detailed of like what the fan letter like what it was, how it got made and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And so so what I didn't know, I thought so at first I thought so there exists this set of stories called One Piece like stories something like that, like Straw Hat stories something like that, and each of the stories has something to do with one of the Straw Hats. And there's one of a fan of Nami's who like is like motivated by who she is as a pirate and the fact that she's not some burlesque like super strong warrior, but she is she pirate on her the merits of who she is and how smart she is and how clever she is, right? So they decided to wrap a lot of these stories up. Like mostly it's the Nami one, but actually a lot of other of the One Piece stories.
It's all of them together, right?
I didn't know that at all until
I had
today.
a feeling. I had a feeling. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
they draw and like yeah, you can tell from like the things that show up. So yeah, basically for people that didn't know or haven't seen it, like first off, go watch it because I think it's probably the best episode of One Piece if you consider an episode of One Piece. Obviously, it's a side thing, but like it's just this girl who wants to see Nami and she finds out how about Luffy's the 3D2Y promise. She figures it out because she uses like the cucumber the sea cucumbers around Saboti. She thinks Luffy's referencing that. It's kind of like when Kinemon getting all the things right, even though he never like he didn't mean to get it right. He just did, right? And it's kind of like how she did it. And yeah, it's her story of like getting through what's going on in Saboti and getting to see the Straw Hats. I think that's probably a good enough of a starter for us to just talk about.
Yeah,
Everything
and
that's how
just so everyone knows, this is during the time when the Straw Hats come back from Saboti after their 2 year time skip.
Yeah.
So it's cool because so she gets inspired by her during the war. She sees her wanted poster, and then like you said, it's not just her. It's her. It's these two brothers that were in
Yeah.
that were actually in the Paramount War. Um, who else? Another soldier that saw Mihawk, and he got messed up ever since then, bro. PTSD. Because well, one thing that this episode really illustrated super well was the fact of the everyday soldier, the regular soldier in One Piece, the ones that we see Luffy and them and everyone just punch real quick and get out the way, like, and seeing it from their perspective was absolutely awesome. Especially such a paramount, like literally the Paramount War,
Yeah, like AKA like the War of the Best, right? It illustrated so well how these demons like ended up in a once in a lifetime battle and how like they all were world ending events in the perspective of these regular Marines.
Yeah.
And it also showed like not only that, it showed like how important like some small decisions and split second decision making how gravely it impacts the fate of the world. You know what I mean? Which is obviously what Marineford is all about. It was just nuts, man. Mon, I think you watched it the most recently out of all of us. What were your thoughts, man?
Man, oh my goodness. First of all, I did not expect to see like so many different. Like I thought it was just going to cover strictly her, but it covered like
so many
multiple. Yeah, so many different characters, and it actually gave me a different perspective because I thought Kobe was the only one that like really. I mean, obviously there's some people that like the Straw Hats or like some pirates, like somewhat like you see it somewhat here and there. Like I think Kuzan, I think he liked the Straw Hats, but he's not like a fanboy. You know what I mean? He's not like a fan of them. He's just he like okay, I like these guys. Like they're all right. They're cool. They're decent. I thought there were not pirates, Marines like that. Whereas Kobe, he's like that, but he's also a Luffy fanboy as well.
Mm-hmm.
I did not see coming that under the table there are a mad amount of Marine fanboys. Like I did not see that coming.
The Chopper one? Oh my god!
Boy, oh man, the captain or whatever, or who, rear admiral or whatever he was. That it's like Chopper fanboy. I was rolling,
bro.
I was like, yo,
he was cool too.
Crazy.
He was cool because like you saw him. He's known for saving a bunch of Marines by holding up the glacier, right? While shit was popping off, and he was. But to find out that he was the Chopper fanboy and he had a drawer full of Chopper pictures was ridiculous.
Yeah, and it's always this trope. The trope that they always do is not in One Piece, but in fiction in general, in like media. Is you always make the big dude, the most swole looking guy around is the most like, the most, what's the word I'm looking for?
Like a cute appreciator. Like I know.
Yeah, like
susceptible to the cuteness. Yeah.
It's all that trope always gets me, like, because it's so topsy turvy. Like you don't expect that, but I always appreciated that. So when it came out, like he was a Chopper fanboy, he's like, ooh, Chopper. Like I was like, man, that is funny. But yeah, and then but I was getting weak when they were at the table.
Oh, at the bar. At
the bar, and they were having basically One Piece debates that we see in real life.
You'd be right there. They were power scaling along with you, bro.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because they were like, oh, Mihawk's the best. Oh no, Vista's the best. No, Zoro has the most potential.
Exactly.
Bro, that shit was so funny because Zoro was there drinking, and then there's one guy you could tell he was Zoro fanboy, and he's like, yeah, like, Zoro has the most potential. He'll come back. And they're like, that guy's dead. And then they start making fun of him by putting chopsticks in their mouth, and they're like, onigiri. Yeah.
That was so funny, man.
Man.
And apparently that part where they're like power scaling so like warriors a little bit, swordsmen, that's from Zoro's story in those set of stories. So that's one of those things that's like, they tied into the Nami one. The Nami one, I think, is the back one of it, but yeah, that's a little bit of Zoro's. I think another one that killed me about the power scale is that later on, they show them later in the episode, and then now they're debating Buggy versus Shanks.
Boy, that was crazy. That was funny. Obviously, that's because of misinformation. Why that?
Of course,
was even a debate in the first place, but. What was hilarious was because obviously Zoro clocked them for what he clocked them for
making fun of him for that.
When he was doing like
he clocked them and then he bounced. But I thought later on was even funnier.
Yeah, because Sanji, he was like, hey guys, don't we think we should include Sanji basically in the power scaling debate?
What about Blackleg? And they're like,
yeah, they were. Oh my goodness! He just. Oh my goodness, that was funny. That was hilarious.
And then the younger brother Marine, he joined them right in the bar, and they're talking about swordsmen as we said. And then this guy is like, it starts yelling, Akainu's the strongest. And they're like, we're talking about swordsmen, not Akainu. So I know on Twitter people were like, oh my god, Akainu's a swordsman. Yeah, it was funny.
I love it, man. It was so cool. Like I feel like the whole thing, and we'll get into it more for sure, it's just an appreciation for like people like us that are like really into it and just are fans, it's so fucking good, man. That's why it seems like that really hit.
And that one that was so good. And then like the whole puzzle motif that they kept showing throughout was absolutely beautiful.
I love it, especially because it's like everyone only had their own like piece of
Like
it, and it's
one
like
piece,
one
yeah.
piece.
Yeah,
Oh come
yeah.
on, man, it's fucking fire, bro. Stop it,
Beautiful.
bro.
And then
Yeah, I really liked it.
it all tied in perfectly together. But one thing that really got me, I actually got super emotional, was when you see the two brothers
Yes,
at the
sir.
war, right? The older brother, even though the younger one's always shitting on him and doing better than him, already promoted before him, that's still his younger brother, and he almost left him because he was trapped under the ice. And then you
Yeah,
see,
he was scared of the lasers.
yeah, you see Akaina's lasers popping off. The one he was trapped. One of them was trapped under Orz's leg that was cut off, and uh, but his strap broke, and he hears Luffy say, "You're my brother." Like,
And it was in response to Ace
yeah,
asking, "Why are
exactly.
you going so hard to save me?" And
Yes,
Luffy just says, "Cause you're my fucking brother, man."
yeah, dude, that shit. I'm getting
Ah,
emotional, bro. That shit was absolutely beautiful. And then
bro.
it reminded him, and then he turned back and went after his brother to save him.
Yeah, beautiful, bro.
And then
Hmm.
that's why he's a Luffy fanboy, because Luffy saved his brother, and that shit was absolutely beautiful.
It's so good, man. And I'm the biggest, Ace, my favorite fucking character. I think that shit is some of the most emotional stuff in One Piece, and to see that inspire, because it's kind of funny, because like as I grew up as a One Piece fan, my favorite character was Zoro, and then now it's probably Ace, but like still like Zoro, I really like Zoro, I really like Shanks, all that stuff. But honestly, when it comes to characters on screen and all the Straw Hats, I fucking love Luffy. Luffy's just the GOAT.
Yeah.
By far my favorite character in the Straw Hats. It's not even close. And it wasn't always this way, and it never just happened. I just realized how much I love who he is, and it's his antics, and it's his decisive action and inspiration.
Hmm.
And I just think it's perfect how that's what inspired this Marine older brother. It's so good, man.
Yeah,
Like the
Luffy
Eagle.
is definitely one of a kind.
The GOAT, bro. He's
Um,
absolute GOAT.
Definitely, most definitely. I think if you were to ask like people, I honestly don't know who has like who legitimately like full wholeheartedly have more favorite Straw Hats than Luffy in terms of like who you might ask like as far as their favorite Straw Hat. So we usually leave Luffy out of that
Yeah,
conversation.
except
Yeah.
for Luffy. Yeah, that's what they always say. Except for Luffy, who's
Yeah,
your favorite shot? Yeah, facts.
yeah,
Yeah, he's him, man.
yeah, because he's him.
And it shows up later, right? Like when the Marine, he knows the girl, from they're both from Sabodia, and he wants to, like he sees her, and all this stuff's going on, and he's like, no, we gotta get back. I can't let you be in this war zone or whatever.
Mm.
Hearing her talk about how Nami inspired her is what is like it makes him decide like, okay, I'm gonna help you complete your dream and see the shots because I know what that's like. Like Luffy's my hero and
Yeah.
Nami's yours, so let's go see them. And it's just fucking, it's so good, bro. It's so
Yeah,
good, bro.
so powerful.
Yeah, man.
I'm honestly very happy that Nami has a fan.
Yeah.
Like honestly, because obviously the powerhouses of the Straw Hats and even some of the like mid tiers of the Straw Hats will probably have fans, but not Nami is considered like of the dynamic in terms of like probably well actually funny enough I think she is popular
Yeah,
in
definitely.
that
But
group.
I know she is.
I think she's popular, but in terms of like raw power and stuff, I think she's considered like a lower tier, right? And so
Yeah.
she don't get time to like shine like that in like a flashy type of way. But I like that someone's a fan of her, like a direct, only a fan of Nami, not a fan of everyone else. Because Bartolomeo, he he's a fan of mostly Luffy, but he loves everybody else. But he's
Yeah.
mostly a Luffy fan, right? But she's only a Nami fan, and I love that.
Because of those reasons, like you said, because she's not a powerhouse. She's not, she's fighting in this world of pirates. She's at the top of the game, using her wits, using her brains, and everything like that.
Yeah,
But she has this, and
exactly.
that's what inspired her.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then like
Because
she's so quick
oh,
with it too, bro. She's so that little
yeah,
girl.
I wonder if she aspires to be a navigator necessarily, or does she just wants to travel out and see, knowing if now she's inspired to because of the fact that there's a pirate that's at the top, or a pirate that's up there who doesn't use like devil fruits or has crazy monster strength.
Yeah,
So
I think also like she like I think she appreciates her traits, and how like it might not even she might not even want to be a pirate or an adventurer, but like whatever she does do, she knows that it's not like she's not going to be held back by A, being a woman, or B, like like not being the most strong or whatever. Like it's just really really amazing. I think another really good thing about the fan letter was the minor characters, like the the Soul King fan, the book,
Yep.
the bookstore clerk. She was so fucking funny, and in the end, the kids that would kind of make fun of her for being a Soul King fan, like they turn around and tell her like, "Oh, the Straw Hats are at Grove 42," and that little chain reaction of them kind of coming around and not being mean to her, like wanting to make her day a little bit better. That is what saves the main character and from Bully Marine,
because she got stopped. Yeah.
Yeah, because they want to see the shots, and so they hit the bull. It's just that's what it's all about, man. It's truly, I think the fan letter just captures the essence of being a One Piece fan.
And not just that, the fact that when that moment happened, the girl, she had the quick wits to grab the letter, run around, because the Marines wanted to unveil a new weapon that we're just finding out for the first time that could apparently destroy a ship as well as the coding and part of the ecosystem of Subodi, which is crazy.
That is absolute. When I heard that, I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
That's wild, right? Like, I know it's a low key thing, but that's a wild thing. Like they're gonna destroy. It's a biological weapon that everybody unveil against the Straw Hats, and this girl stopped it by tricking them because they were going to arrest her too. Because they thought that she was like, "This is my letter." Like that shit
had nothing to do with you guys.
Yeah, beautiful. So that shit was golden, bro. They can't do shit. They can't,
Yeah, she won, man. And like you said, it's like that's the traits that she admires from Nami, and it just goes to show that like that's who you already are, dog. You know what I mean? It's so good, man.
The cleverness, the quick snap judgment.
Yep.
Those are definitely all Nami traits, and the fact and the precision too. Because think of all the letters, she knew exactly the letter it was. Because it wasn't like they were all super distinct, like super, oh, this one's red, this one blue. They all were like the same color, look damn near the same stamp. So she must knew some type of nuance difference in all those letters.
Well, they showed you because they showed you with her letter, right? And then they showed you when she was under the table with the other letter, so she knew the weight. I feel like that's the only way you could tell, right? Would be the weight difference between the two. So and then the fact that the Marine letter had like Braille, had something on it. Yeah. So like she probably just felt that too, but no, you're right because she was quick, like mad quick with it, bro.
And she was evading Marines, like she was like dodging through their legs, like she's running past them, like she was definitely doing all she could, and I'm sure the Straw Hats would have been fine, but in some way, like it's this little things that help them get out. And to me, it's just canon. I'm not gonna lie. Fuck everything else. This girl saved them. You know what I mean? It was cool. And there's all these little things. And man, this is where I was talking to Mista about how like I'm probably gonna end up reading like all of One Piece very soon just to be ready for the final saga.
Yeah.
Because like the stuff like the bird, like not the birds, but the giant grasshopper, and so I completely forgot that it was Heracleson, the guy that trained Usopp, that dropped those bugs to he kills this. He's like, yo, my guy setting off. I can't let the Marines interfere. And then that's what trapped the girl and the Marine older brother in the bookstore. Like these small things that I know, right? I know, man. It's these small things that really like I completely forgot that even happened, right?
Well, not just that, and you remember because those guys that were at the bar, they had the books with the characters that they like. One had Frankie, one had Zoro, and those books went in a bubble and they flew away, but they hit into the Marine guy.
Yeah, I remember exactly the shot where when he's, I think it's when he saves the girl, right? Like those, it's so perfect, man, and. That kind of reminds me actually. There's like the Frankie magazine and the Soul King magazine and all that stuff. Like
everyone was mentioned. I mean, aside from Usopp, I mean, we saw Usopp, but like no one.
And that's another thing. Usopp fan was that's another thing about the Usopp thing. Where I was looking at, I'm like, how does she organize Usopp? And then I remembered, wait, he's only Soul King at this point.
That's why. That makes
His
sense.
bounty is only Sogeking until Dressrosa.
That's so
This guy's just a
true.
random guy, bro.
God damn.
Bro, the level of detail is just out of this world, man.
That makes sense. That's why he's the only. Which I love too. I love that he was the one that picked up her map and gave it to her.
Yep.
You know, because that's just how Usopp is. And oh man, it was so good. Like that
Yeah,
that fan
man.
letter, and it just gives me hope that we're just gonna keep getting small One Piece projects like this going forward. Like
There's still like the law novel. There's the Ace manga.
yes,
There's so much stuff that like Toei could
Yeah,
like
you
do like
got, and you also got like just people in the past that theoretically can be fleshed out, like Roger, hell, even like
Cheeky, like Rocks, all
A
that stuff.
Garp story, like
Mhm.
it's so much you could do.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's absolutely crazy. I think, and like I love how the episode technically ends with her seeing Nami. Like I actually I was looking at that panel or that like that part of the episode where Nami, like they set sail and Nami pumps her fist up. I think it's literally just all their poses from the channel of the manga. They're just doing that like they're all doing those exact like poses. Luffy and Nami are up front, and Nami. And I think one thing I missed it. Like we've been doing the thumbnails and like the art and all that stuff. I think one thing I appreciated. I don't think I would have appreciated without doing all this stuff. Is that they make Nami the central focus by giving her an outline, and no one else has one.
hmm
Like, and she's like foreground. It's so like it's just so fucking sick, man. Oh my god. But the last part of the episode is that they obviously the credits roll. They show like scenes from the anime in like obviously in this new style or whatever. Like Chopper walking behind the fake Straw Hats, like Robin avoiding the CP0 members at Shibori or whatever.
hmm
But my favorite part is the very ending after the credits, where we see the last scene again, where they take off, but the camera is like is like a perspective of like a fan, and all the Straw Hats look at the camera with a smile, as if you're sitting there about to take off to Fishman Island with them. It's so fucking sick, man.
It
It's
really is.
perfect, bro.
It really is.
I think it gets like it's for us, and we are the girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh man.
It's amazing, man. It's amazing, bro. It makes me appreciate like what we do here every week and reading this series at all. It's fucking amazing, bro.
Dude, I love
Yeah.
One Piece. I watched this shit again this morning.
Nice.
Earlier today. This shit was so
Nice.
good.
Nice.
Yeah, I was just got done to it. Like I was telling my coworker who started One Piece, and we were just talking about like you guys know the coworker I got it helped get into One Piece, or like, he watched the anime, not read the manga, but that's that's fine. And
Take what we can get.
you know,
We'll take what we can get.
yeah, exactly. And we were talking, and he was like, "Man, like now I can't like stop. I can't stop watching One Piece or whatever. I'm so glad I watched it. I told him, like I said, a year ago, you told me you wanted something with the story, and I was like One Piece, and you were like, nah, it's too long, and now look at you. And he was like, yeah, now he was like, yeah, I was on TikTok and someone was like, nah, I don't want to watch One Piece, it's too long. He said, and he was like, I used to be that guy. I was getting weak too, Mister. Like I was dying,
Dude.
and I was like, "Yeah, see how crazy that is." He was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Now you know how I felt." Like, like when I saw you say that, he was like, "Yeah, man. Like I can't believe it." And I was like, "Yeah," and he's like, "So really, I mean, the fact that people, it's something that people have been watching or reading or whatever for years and stuff." I was like, "Yeah, I mean, I." Told him I got into One Piece back in 2010.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I've been on this journey for like damn near 15 years. So he was like,
Let's go, man.
"Jeez."
Yeah, I've been
like, yeah.
2000. I was in high school, so
Dang.
I want to say
Damn, y'all old as
2005.
hell.
Yeah, 2005. Oof.
God damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely 2008. Definitely 2008, because that was when I graduated, at least high school, and I was
Yeah, man,
definitely
16 years
full
later,
into
bro, like-
full into anime at the time,
Yeah, we're locked in, man. This shit is nuts, bro.
bro, and still going strong. We over here.
Yeah, man. We'll all the way to the end, bro.
All the way. Man, I can't wait, bro. I love One Piece. This shit was so good. Definitely, everyone, please go check out the One Piece fan letter. It is its own episode on Netflix now. They have it separately, so
Hey.
you could just have that as a favorite that as a movie and watch it anytime. It was so good. I want now I want more projects like this in the perspective of the everyday person. You know, in the world of One Piece, because
Yeah.
we don't get that at all.
And
And
I
it's
think
just
the
crazy.
stories were like the best, that's what they were going for. Like they're all random, they're people in the story or like in the universe or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully they either take more from that if there's anything left,
Bro,
do more with it.
bro,
It's cool to get like not like Mod said, like people that are just people, like
yeah.
like that are just fans of the genre. It's so fucking sick.
Not just imagine like the perspective, like short stories, or the perspective of the people from Wano seeing
Yeah.
Momo come back. You know, like
Oh my god,
or the
bro,
people
I would cry.
or the people of Dressrosa being a toy turned back into a human. Like like that shit would be crazy.
Yeah, man.
Oh man, so good, so good. And
We're
there's
eating, man. We're
so
eating.
yeah, we really are. And not just that, but we should be back to our regular scheduled program on
Yep.
Sundays. The chapter should be coming out this week, right?
Yeah, there's I think spoilers are already out, and there's no break, so there's gonna be at least 2 in a row.
Oof, man, I can't wait.
We're eating.
I
Bro.
will be gone this week. So
Yes, you will. Yes, Mod will be gone, but we'll hold it down, Mod. I got you.
Yes, sir.
You
I'll
enjoy.
definitely let you guys. Definitely let you guys know if there's anything I want to say.
For sure,
I'll
bro.
let you guys know. Text y'all.
That's fine. And then enjoy your anniversary as well.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations.
Go. Congrats, man.
Thank you very much.
Of course. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. What do you guys think?
Yeah, man. I think that's we did what we could about some great extra content. It's been a long break week, but we're back.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
We'll see, and we'll see what Callie has to say about these spin-offs, short specials. When he comes back next episode,
Yes, sir.
because he was against it originally, especially for Monster. But
Yeah. He's like, oh, I gotta watch it, and then
I'm so surprised too because Zoro's his favorite character.
Oh,
definitely one of them.
Yeah.
Definitely one of them.
Yeah. So it is. I think it like it's like I don't think he knew how canon it was. I think that was his big.
No. I had mentioned it when it first came out. How canon? He's like, I don't.
Yeah, but you
care.
can hear that it's canon, but like, can you know what I mean? Like, is it the Strawhat? You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like you got to see it, and then he did see it, and we know his fucking peak.
We'll see. But yeah, all right. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Great job hosting, Mister.
Of course. That's why I'm here. I got you guys,
Yes,
Mr. Reliable. Always. With that being said, be happy, be healthy. Please spread some love and peace in this world because it's a lot of negativity, and that's what Luffy would do, and some laughter. So
boy.
always. Thank you guys, and you guys have a great night. Peace.
Peace.
Who gon' get down? We are. This that Strawhat Sitdown. We are. Who the crew with the fleet? We are. Who gon' piece that one piece? We are. Who gon' get down? We are. This that Strawhat Sitdown. We are. Who the crew with the fleet? We are. Who gon' piece that one piece? We are. Strawhat Sitdown crew in the building. We Corona to these other podcasts. We gon' put these people in their feelings when they hear this and they know that they can't top this. We spit facts and we poppin'. Every time an episode is dropping, we see D3 in the corner. Mister, that's a real G with the green screen in the background. Got him looking like he in a real scene. We got Big Mod in the cut. Always ready with rebuttals, but he bring the knowledge when we in the huddle, so you know the crew is never gonna fumble. And it's wild huss, last but not least. If you ask me, then Cali, mad at captain, make him rally around me. Every Sunday we gon' run deep, and we can't stop until we find out about that one piece. Who gon' get down? We are. This that Strawhat Sitdown. We are. Who the crew with the fleet? We are. Who gon' piece that one piece? We are. Who gon' get down? We are. This that Strawhat Sitdown. We are. Who the crew with the fleet? We are.